people ask how I'm doing. I'm still dying. Like, just I'm not like everybody's dying. I'm just dying a little quicker. Like, I need a kidney. If I don't get a kidney, I'll be 6 feet under.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where the start line is. It's somewhere around here. Oh, fuck.
Good to meet you. Finally. Nice to see you. This is my sister Mary.
Hi there. Nice to meet you.
So is that your trailer? Is that where you stayed last night? Nice.
Yep.
Perfect.
We camped at Walmart.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
That's my husband Dave and my son James.
Hi. Nice to meet you guys.
They're the crew, noobs.
Nice.
First time really at a race.
Yeah. What a fun one, you know,
Yeah.
multi-day. Yeah, what a beautiful morning for this. I've never seen Cedar Point either, so that's pretty cool to see that.
Number one priority is everyone's safety. A lot of you are experiencing this kind of thing. You kind of know the deal. Pretty much, you don't have any switchbacks really. There's like one near Cincinnati, but so pretty much stay on the, go towards traffic unless there's sidewalks. Then pick your side wherever the surfaces are. Just pay attention. If you find yourself dozing off, falling asleep, get off the road immediately. It's going to happen to some of you. It's happened to me. I woke up once in the middle of the road walking, so it's really what wasn't funny. Now it's a story I can tell, but don't get to that point. Okay, go. Okay. I don't have a bell or a whistle. No cigarette. I expect at least a 3, 2, 1.
Everybody's just like running around like somebody just pulled the fire alarm at the mall. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye. So I'm trying to figure out how to get my thing going. Oh, there we go. All right. See ya. Hi, Mares. See Mike. He's in the car.
My name is Dr. Faisal Rahman. I'm a professor of medicine and a kidney specialist at University Hospital in London. So I first met Christy a few years ago when she initially came forward to donate her kidney to her brother, and she was in quite a bit of distress. She was worried about her brother, who was suffering from the ravages of kidney disease and was not doing well on dialysis at all. It was very important to her that she make a difference in his life. And so she was very keen to donate. And we kind of hit it off right away because she's into extreme sports. I participate in mixed martial arts and kickboxing and boxing, which is a bit strange for a doctor. But she does amazing stuff in long distance running and has run several 100-mile races and marathons. And so we kind of hit it off there. And, we did a very thorough assessment on her to make sure that she was a suitable candidate to be a kidney donor for her brother. And thankfully, after a battery of tests and looking at her kidney function and overall health, she was deemed to be a suitable donor for her brother. And so she proceeded with surgery and gave a very, very generous gift to her brother.
There aren't a lot of people who do sort of the more extreme endurance sports who have donated, because I think they're afraid to donate their kidney when there is an unknown after. And actually, right before the surgery, my surgeon did a pre-surgery appointment with me and asked me how far I ran. And then I said, well, one time I ran 100 kilometers, and he noted it down in his book, and we finished the appointment, and then I got a phone call from him later on that night, and he asked me to clarify. He said, when you said you ran 100 kilometers, was that in 1 month? And I said, no. He said, was that in 1 week? And I said, no, it was in 1 day. And then he said, okay, thanks, and he hung up the phone.
That guy in front of us. Yeah.
You gotta give him a hug if you're gonna sit there.
Okay. What's up, Edison?
I love it. That's so funny.
We're on to second page, which is mile 15 to 55, where we have to stop and take another photo.
Okay.
And we're expecting it to be dark at that photo.
Yeah. Yeah, the reformatory. We got a lot of terms too. Well,
Yeah.
18 to 31 we'll have some.
Yeah. So.
Alright.
I used to say, oh, the kidney disease, my kidney disease. I used to say mine. Then after a little while, when things started to get really busy, like going to doctors and doing more interviews and stuff like that, then it kind of, for me, it felt like, wow, it's not just mine anymore, it's my family's, it's ours.
My son is 19, and then we have three. She has three. The youngest is 17. Oldest just turned 22, and one turned 21. My son has it too. So he's been tested. He goes every 6 months to get checked. Stepkids, they don't, thank God. They're not related to me.
My name is Dr. Lakshman Gunaratnam. I'm the medical director of the multi-organ transplant program at London Health Science Center. I'm also an associate professor at Western University and a research scientist at Schulich School of Medicine and Dentistry. I think it first began with me just starting off in 2010 as a transplant nephrologist, which is a nephrology doctor who specializes in transplant. And as a new doctor, you're still learning. Even though medical school and residency is done, you're still learning. And I fell in love with transplantation, especially patients, especially the fact that transplant brings out such a wonderful thing on both ends. The donor, whether it be deceased donor or living donor, giving up an organ to save the life of another person who's the recipient. I am fascinated by that to this day, and the wonderful thing that it means from a humanistic perspective.
Organ donation is the most impressive gift that one human being can give another. And so I already admire all of our donors, but I especially admire her because to her, her sports life, although very important to her, was secondary. She was more concerned about the health of her brother.
Ever since watching him suffer through that, I've never suffered a moment in my life since. I have a couple of things for pain management. I don't plan on taking anything, but I do have some Tylenol. If I decide to rest for the night, it just might be something to help me wind down. I generally don't take any pain management stuff while I'm running. It doesn't work. Your body will naturally keep you going, especially if you're running. Your body is fully on board with what you're doing, more than we could possibly even know or understand. And when pain comes up, if you're aware of it, your body will take care of you. If you go out too fast, especially in a race like this, your body is going to get beat up and you'll tire from the inside out. So usually running trails, you sort of get tired from the outside in, your muscles start to get tired, and then you start to fatigue once your core strength weakens. But with road miles, yeah, if you don't keep the pace under control, you can get really beat up really early on in. So that's going to be another thing. That first day, those first 24 hours, I'm really going to have to rein myself in. I don't have a pace plan. Just I know what pace I want to start at, but I'm just going to play it by ear.
I can't believe I got stuck in 2 trains.
doesn't need to be cleaned out, it was just water.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, there's like tons of cars.
It's way hotter than I thought it would be.
No, we're taking off home 5 miles and 5 miles.
Okay.
All right, you ready to go? Yeah. All right, see you all.
There's hundreds of different types of kidney disease that can ultimately lead you to what we call end-stage kidney disease. And end-stage kidney disease is where ultimately your kidneys fail and you need either dialysis or a transplant in order to sustain life.
When they first tell you, you're shocked. You don't believe it. And then you just freeze, basically, because you don't even hear the rest that he's saying. So I had my husband with me, and usually the whole family's on the call with us. So we were just all shocked. We didn't even have questions at that minute until time went by. A few minutes, he's still talking and he's telling us. Then my daughter Danielle had a question, and I was still shocked, even though I knew it was coming. But you're still shocked.
I had no idea going in there. My family doctor was on the way out. He was retiring, and I was seeing a nurse practitioner, and she's the one that told me. And then I went to, one specialist to the next specialist, and then I ended up in Dr. Ramon's office, or in London, and that's where I was confirmed where I had what I have, and the treatment process started.
You actually go in the room and it's full of people on dialysis. It's shocking to you. Like, to me, I just froze and I was just crying. And then I said to myself, as I'm walking in that little hallway, I said to myself, I can't go in there like that. There's going to be, because I could see the people as I got closer, I had to stop crying. I go, because I didn't want them to see me cry, because I felt like I'm going to make them even more sadder. That's how I felt. So every day when I would go to dialysis after that, I decided that I was going to take it and be positive about it.
Hi. Dave, can you lift him up there? Like, I just want to get a little rest, and then I probably won't change anything. I'll probably just put a warm coat on and then go out. Everything feels okay. My feet just feel like swollen and like a little bit sore, but when I'm running, it feels fine. When I walk, it feels better.
What do you feel like? So, I feel like the first night we went, because we met at the prison. And then we slept outside of the prison. Well, not really sleep, but we kind of just laid quietly in the dark on separate beds for 45 minutes until an alarm went off and I was like, okay, just get up, please.
That was how I rested through the entire race. So I'm actually glad you got to experience that, because I feel like it helped you be more empathetic and understand where I was at.
Pretty quickly it became clear that I wasn't going to be just filming things. This wasn't going to be like a regular documentary where I'm just a fly on the wall. I was there to support Christy and her husband and her son, and I was a part of the crew. I was pacing with her. I was running with her. I ran 50 miles with her throughout this whole thing, and being able to somehow figure out how to film everything at the same time became a really tough job. And I could tell there were moments where she just needed me to put the camera down.
Okay.
And once I shifted into that mindset, I realized that ultimately the most important thing for us about making this documentary wasn't about her running the race. It was about spreading awareness about kidney disease and organ donation and helping to try and find a kidney for Eric. And the best way I could do that was to film less while running and support her more. So that's what we did.
I took off the tape on my left foot this morning and somehow had 0 blisters. So that was good.
What's going on?
This is gonna sound crazy, so I don't even want to say it.
Okay.
We're running from Sandusky to Mason.
Okay. Where's Mason? That's
For
Cincinnati area?
Kings Island.
Okay.
Do you know where that is? Yeah. It's a race, yeah.
Between you or a bunch of club or is it?
There was like 30 people, I think. that
I've
started.
seen like
Yeah.
There's one guy's got a way head start on you. He's passed it way down.
Oh,
Ever since
we'll go arrest him, please.
detain him for a little bit.
Yes,
you
thank
know?
you.
Side of the road. Yeah.
The first oatmeal was gross.
Do you want?
Dave went and got more oatmeal, and then I had. What else did I have?
Do you want some? Do
That's
you
it.
want me to get coffee?
No, that's okay. I can text Dave and have him like have whatever ready there.
Do you want to drink a little bit of this before you go?
No, that's okay. Thank you though.
Yeah.
And then I had a gel this morning, so
Okay.
trying to do better. Like I always start out good and then it just gets hard to eat after a while. Like it's
Yeah.
just once you get hot and once you start sweating, your body just acts up.
In the early days, they told us that our best chance is they give you step by step. Like there's a pair program, they explain it to you, and there's anonymous people that could donate on that program or what someone that you know can do it. But we knew about obviously a deceased donor and a live donor. Your best thing usually is what they say, a live donor. It doesn't matter, as long as somebody donates, they can do anything. But a live donor, they say there's a better chance of rejection, of not getting rejected. Anyway, we started, I say we again, but it's mostly my daughter, my husband, and my grandkids that decided to, spread the word of being a donor. It started off, of course, Lucy needs a kidney. But then when we were doing interviews, and my daughter, we're not just advocating for me to get a kidney, let's say. We were advocating for other people. We're putting the word out. And there's a lot that people can do. And nobody realizes it and there's more word out there now. And I think it helps. And my daughter and my husband, and like I said, my whole family, they did a lot. And then we met my donor through Instagram. I know, who thinks, right? Instagram could be helpful. And we started, my husband went downtown with a sign looking for a live donor because we heard the best, and to be on the list, it could be from 5 to 12 years, apparently. So we were saying, okay, whatever happens, happens. But we'll start from the beginning, looking for a live donor and advocating for other people to just even sign their card.
So my name is Dr. Dervla Connaughton. I'm one of the nephrologists and transplant physicians here at University Hospital in London, Ontario. And I am the director of the Living Kidney Donor Programme. And our role in the Living Kidney Donor Programme is to assess and to decide on potential donors for kidney transplantation. At the heart of it, we always want to make sure our donors are healthy, happy, and that this donation was the right choice for them and for the person receiving kidney. So donor health is always at the forefront of my mind. But the issue with seeing living donors is you have to flip your perspective a little bit, because we're used to seeing patients who are sick, who need dialysis, who need a transplant. So when you're seeing a donor, you're coming at it with a very different, very fresh perspective, because you're looking at healthy people and potentially looking for problems as opposed to someone coming to you with a problem, with a health problem. So I will say what is so refreshing about this is that all our donors are really healthy. The data would suggest that they're healthier than the average population. And it's probably related, maybe not that giving a kidney is necessarily good for your health, but the people who give the kidney are healthy people. They take care of their health. They are active. You know, they reduce the risk of obesity. They reduce the risk of diabetes. They reduce their salt intake. They reduce their blood pressure. They actively take care of themselves and others, because that's the type of people they are. So yes, running a 200 mile, I want to make sure they're in optimal health, that they've taken care of themselves. But it doesn't surprise me because I know our donors and they are generally motivated, you know, enthusiastic people who want to do this amazing thing for someone, but also want to get on with their lives and live a fulfilling life because, you know, they're active members of our community. They're people who get things done.
I'm a urologist and a transplant surgeon. My involvement with the transplant program is both on the donor side as well as on the recipient side. We tend to see all of our donors and recipients in clinic, and you know it's quite a not only a pleasure but an honor to meet these patients, and especially our donors who are really the true heroes behind all this. And you know, oftentimes you know, donors will come and thank us, and living recipients or deceased donor recipients will come and thank us, saying, "You have an amazing team. You guys are our heroes." And really, at the end of the day, it's the opposite, right? We're doing a job that we love, but really, the true heroes are the donors in this operation, in this paradigm.
Yep.
How much
but
pizza do you want at the next stop? We'll be right around lunchtime. 7 miles or so, I think I calculated it to.
just get it whenever, and then
You don't care if it's cold?
I actually would prefer it to be cold.
Alright, we'll get it when we get back here.
Sorry, so you're gonna have pizza in 7 miles?
Tom coming down 42 this morning, coming to
Few
work.
of them, yeah.
Yeah. Anybody come by yet?
Yeah, there's 3. My wife just left, so there's like 4 or 5 that have
Okay.
passed through. There's some already on the other side of the next town there.
Okay. All right. Well, cool.
The diehard, all-night people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was really glad that I had Chris Pettigrew as a pacer because I felt really comfortable leading up to the race knowing that he was going to be there for me.
Chris Pettigrew, Cincinnati, Ohio. I met Christy 2 years ago at a training run for the Hallucination 100 in Michigan. I have a very close friend of mine who lives in California now, but his wife was suffering from kidney failure, and it turned out that he was actually a perfect match for his wife. So not only a match in the marital sense, but a match in the biological sense as well. So he actually donated a kidney to her, and she is still doing great with that kidney. But you know, that was my first experience with any kind of organ donor, and they kind of explained a little bit about the process and the ongoing treatment, and you know what they're allowed to do. And you know, they seem to live a pretty active lifestyle, but I've never seen anybody you know, take on these kind of tasks like she is. And so, you know, when she told me that story, she gave me the background about donating a kidney to her brother, and you know, talking about medical and you know, wanting to raise awareness by doing these feats, and you know, being an organ donor isn't necessarily something that's going to inhibit your lifestyle, active or otherwise. And so, yeah, it was kind of enlightening to me.
The first thing lay people say to me, or my family and friends say to me when they hear I'm going into a cage for 5 minutes, three rounds, and wrestling and boxing and kickboxing and taking elbows to the head, and what are you doing? How are you promoting health as a physician when you're engaging in a violent sport? And they just couldn't understand the love I have for the challenge, pushing my body, pushing myself to accomplish something that you know, hadn't accomplished before. And so that's the connection I have with Christy. You know, she wanted to accomplish something. She wanted to continue to challenge herself. And I think that's what life's all about. You can either live a sedentary life where you live day to day and go to work, come back home, go to work, come back home. Or you can push yourself to do something special, to be involved with a sports community that will add to your life, to meet interesting people. And you do that through sports. And so I made that connection. And even myself, having been in the situation where people have criticized me for engaging in, let's say, a violent sport, I found myself worried about her because I said, she's going to donate her kidney. What risk is she going to face because of the sport that she's engaged in?
On the side of the road, basically?
Well, yesterday, hung out on a laundromat for a couple hours.
Yesterday it was cold. At least tonight's only gonna stay somewhat warm.
Yeah, I think I'll be a lot happier tonight outside.
Sure. Traffic's not so good on this road, eh? Jesus.
The whole race has been like that. You look good out there.
Hey, kudos to you guys. It's awesome what you're doing. So.
Yeah, I don't know how you're doing it without a crew.
Enough of playing car roulette for the evening?
Like, yeah, it's, you know, when my headlamp on, it was a little lighter. People were, you know, getting out of the way, but they're not. You know, like, some guy in a lawnmower, like, landscaper guy, like, got real close to us and started honking his horn at us. Like, you know, was purposely trying to, like, intimidate us. It's like,
Tell it everywhere.
yeah.
So you've got that.
Got your picture?
Yeah.
It's, yeah, I mean, if it was, I mean, I don't know what it's like up there, but like, I mean, we could try doing like another mile or two and see how we feel. And if it's terrible, you guys can come pick us up.
I don't want to. It's just, it's the.
There's a really bad corner, another one of those guardrails where you got so much wheel and like a big scoop.
It's raining and the cars won't be able to see us. Like, that's my.
I think coming out real early in the morning, before all the traffic, Saturday morning, it'll give us enough time to finish this up on this stretch and get somewhere safe. And then
I'd rather you run Sunday and we get home later. Who cares?
Yeah,
I just want safety.
I don't want to die. This road. How we feeling, Cheese?
How do I feel?
Yeah.
I feel okay. I'm used to this now. Hilarious. These like 2 days of running has like healed my bursitis.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people say that, like, it's hard to imagine, but they always say when you do a multi-day thing, by the third day you just get stronger.
Oh yeah. I usually say the second day is the worst, and the third, like anything after that, you start getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, yesterday morning it was tough to wrap my head around. Only being 70 miles in of a 208-mile run, I woke up in the morning and I just like cried, like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna go back outside? How am I gonna start all over? And I have so far to go.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just the pain of running on the roads is, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's not suffering. Like dialysis is suffering. Like, being sick is suffering.
When I started dialysis, I would say the first month to 6 weeks, my back was sore, constantly in pain, severe pain, because you have to lie in a chair, but the way the chair is positioned for my back, it was bothering me a lot. So they gave me a stretcher, like a bed, that bothers your back. The machine, the filter, I was allergic to it, they thought. So they changed the filter, they gave me a better one. My skin felt literally on fire every time I was on the machine for 4 hours, on fire. It was literally burning my whole back, the top of my head. And then as soon as I got off the machine, no itchy, no burning, nothing. They couldn't figure it out. I know it happens to some people. There was a lot of people. But for me, it was like literally burning. Some people would get severe itching to the point where they would break their skin. Your blood pressure drops. You pass out on the machine. They have to stop the machine. And if they stop it, that means they have to change the whole system. You have to stay longer because the longer it takes for them to change the filter, this machine, it adds on 20 minutes to a half hour, depending. If you have to go to the ladies to the restroom, again, they have to stop the machine, restart it, and it's another 20 minutes. So every time that machine stops, or they have to stop it for your blood pressure, you're adding on another half hour, 20 minutes to half hour to your stay. So that means another half hour for me of burning skin, and you can't move. For my case, I had to stay straight. You can't move too much. So that's hard. So like I say, sure, I'm living. I'm not saying I'm not living, but am I really living? When you're spending 4 hours on a machine and an hour to your dialysis, and you're going 3 times a week, and some people go 4 times a week because it's hard. It's hard on the system. If you spend more time on dialysis, your body finds it harder and harder. It ages you faster. It makes you really weak. I used to go in a wheelchair to dialysis towards the end of just before my transplant. Like I would go in a wheelchair sometimes. And they knew I wasn't well when I did that because I spent a week in the hospital or 2 weeks because you're constantly not well, even though you're on dialysis. You're not. You're living, yeah. It's giving you hope for a transplant. It's keeping you alive till you get a transplant. It's giving you hope. Like, okay, today I'm here. Maybe tomorrow I may not be here.
During a race or running, there's a start and a finish to what you're experiencing. It's not suffering. And there's not even a comparison to what you go through even in the last 8 miles of a 208-mile race. There's just no comparison. It's nothing compared to when someone is going through chronic illness.
People have to have an appreciation for how prevalent is organ failure or kidney failure first. Second, to appreciate what it means to have kidney failure or what it means to have liver failure or heart failure. And in some cases, it is a death sentence. And then third, have an appreciation for how an organ transplant can completely change that potential recipient's life. I truly believe that's where it begins, because I think we all are compassionate and kind human beings. And once we understand that another person's suffering can be alleviated by this gift, it makes it a bit easier to understand why I need to think about organ donation.
Well, I always want to stress that end-stage kidney disease, although we do have the option for dialysis, it's not optimal. You know, nobody wants to see, if I have a loved one, I don't want to see them on dialysis long term. Kidney transplantation is the best option. Deceased donor transplantation is great. People do amazingly after getting a kidney from someone who has passed away. But living donation is optimal. Living donation has the best outcomes, and it's probably because it's a very planned procedure. You know, patients do very well. You tend to be getting a kidney from someone who is very healthy and very well. So it is the optimal, you know, option if it is an option for you. I will say currently living donation is not the most common type of transplantation we do, but I do think there is capacity to do more and to encourage people more, because as I said, donors do fantastically. We never take a kidney if we imagine it would have ill effects on you in the future. And even though it's not maybe advantageous for your health, it's not something you do to improve your health, I would say patients tend to do better because they are those people who look after their health. Maybe it's because they gave a kidney, or maybe that's just them anyway, but they do tend to look after their health. And they tend to do very well over time. There are some risks, no matter what surgery you go to. There's always some risks associated with that, but I would say overall it's minimal. And our data also shows that psychologically these patients can do better because they've done an amazing thing. So maybe the family unit does better. You know, if a kid gets a kidney, mom and dad do better because it's better for the family as a whole. So I would say we think we do have capacity to do more living donors. If we think about it, you know, kidney transplantation is the most common surgery we do in transplantation in Canada. But for every person who receives a kidney, almost 2 people are on the wait list. And about 100 people every year die on the wait list waiting for a kidney.
Like if I had gone to the doctor like I'm supposed to, yeah, and they monitored it. Like, this is, I don't want to say it's self-induced, but I never went to the doctor. I was in the best shape of my life. What's wrong with me? I got a sore knee. Oh no, you're dying. Like, it was just like, oh wow, this is kind of hard to swallow. Like, and then I'd call my boss and say, I got to leave. Like, I just got told my kidneys are shutting down. Like, I think I had like maybe 30% function at that point. And I'd call my mother and tell her, and she was freaking out.
While I was watching my brother go through kidney disease, it changed my mind about what I thought suffering was, what I thought was hard. And I've never done anything hard in my life when I compare it to what he's gone through. He didn't choose it. He doesn't have a finish line. There is no end. There's no end to his heart or his suffering. And when someone's going through dialysis, it's not something anyone deserves. It doesn't matter what their life looks like or what choices they've made or how they got there. Nobody deserves that. There is no way to treat kidney disease better than a transplant.
She's really focusing on the big number all the way back, and as opposed to like, let's just get the 2 miles back to the trailer. And I think she's very warm. So, she's managing it. I think she's still moving really well. So that's good.
Yeah, I think it's just walking now, and that's just the reality of whatever. But I switched my watch to distance to go, so I'm just counting it down now. Pardon?
What do you want?
Coffee, and then Gatorade and water for the best.
Yeah, you got that.
And I'll take that too. So, but yeah, so.
Are those shoes helping?
Yeah, they're good. Like, I would rather wear ultras all day long. I just have this huge like lump forming on my shin here. It's just, I don't know. There's not really much I can do about that at this point.
Yeah, you're moving well.
Yeah. It's like walking is harder than people think, though.
Yeah. No, it's.
That's
why I'm sitting here talking to your husband.
I enjoy it. It's just hard. Like, it's hard on the body. If you want to go fast enough to like cover enough ground, then it's got a big impact on the body. Like, not as.
Hey, buddy.
You take that? Okay. Well,
Nice and cold anyway.
I think I'm gonna go.
Do you know where you're going?
Well, I got it's on my watch.
I think Eric's about an hour ahead of you. He's not that far.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go all night just to beat Eric. I'm just kidding. That's okay. I'm in my own world, and so is he, and nobody. Yeah. I don't think anybody's competing with anyone else anymore except the guy who won the race, and and everyone else is just surviving. Thank you, Chris.
You betcha.
Yeah.
motor. I like to see it.
That was the hardest decision that I had to make, was to say, like, no more. I don't need a pacer anymore. And I felt really bad, but I knew he didn't want to walk, and I knew I needed to walk. And I didn't want to be walking, and nobody wants to walk. Hey.
Just going for a stroll?
Yeah.
Getting lighter.
Yeah, and then the sun comes out from the clouds, and it just flies you again. Oh, but it went at me.
Well, I like walking. And I am good to, I'm good to put in a long night of walking with you.
Okay.
If that's
good.
what you want to do.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like,
Let's go straight.
from
Delusional.
You have so much hope. I'll be honest, it's not easy, because I did have people being tested. And every time we got our hopes high, there was always a little hiccup that didn't go right. And you're used to it. You get used to it after a couple of times or so, but you never really do. And the person that needs the kidney doesn't want to show it to the family. So it's a double whammy for someone. I felt that way, that I had to always tell people, but you don't look sick, because they don't know what the disease will, how bad it'll get. And it does get bad. But I stay positive, so I never really showed people all of it, because I felt like I'm gonna be okay. That's it. I just kept saying that to myself. I'm gonna be okay. I'm having a bad day today. I would call my daughter, I would call my son, a friend, just for them to distract me. I play music, but I always stay positive, because that was my way. Okay, so this person didn't qualify. That's okay. The next one will. And sure enough, it happened. Just, we found a donor through Instagram with my family's help. That feeling was totally a different feeling, let me tell you.
So we screen the patients first to make sure that they're normal kidney function. And if they have normal kidney function, then we will bring them in for more clinical assessments, works, appointments with physicians, nurses, educators, psychologists, and get the whole workup completed. And after that full assessment, and after a full medical assessment by the medical team, only if there's no contraindications, they could then proceed. That process can take up to 6 months.
I got back to running after the surgery. My fitness and my speed did not come back consistently. So I would have some really good days and some really off days. And a lot of tantrums and crying about those bad days led me to a little practice where at the end of every run, I will come up with 3 good things from the run. So sometimes it was just got some sunlight, burned some calories, I don't know, did something, tried, whatever. There is no waste in exercise, but yeah, you have to be flexible.
Most of our living donors have not had previous surgery. We're realistic about what their expectations will be. Are you going to have pain? Definitely. It's going to be uncomfortable. But we are going to make sure that everyone is as comfortable as they can be. We have novel ways of taking care of the pain, whether we do infusions of anesthetic directly into the wound, or if we have special types of anesthetics we can use, and medication that we use afterwards for analgesia, both immediately afterwards and at home. We talk about what their expectations will be from this process. They do want to get back to regular life, and really our job is to say, look, you gotta take it easy. You did something incredible, you deserve to watch some Netflix and sit at home and rest.
I don't know if I'll be able to run today, but yeah, so I'll just try to close it up the best I can, but yeah. Eric encountered the same Karen I did, who was just freaking out in her car that we were on the road, giving us we still have 20K to go. It never ends.
Never ends. Until it does.
Okay. Thanks, boy.
Well, we'll see you at the next spot. You're almost there. You are.
Well, why don't you walk the almost there rest of it with me? I found my edge in Lebanon. I found the bottom. I've been searching for it for a long time, so it's exactly what I asked for. Yeah, why is there no shade in Ohio? So embarrassing.
One. You want another water for the next ones then too?
Maybe.
You're not to have it get carried around everywhere and holding it.
Okay, do the Charlie Brown walk. We'll see you soon.
Looking back, just going over all those little decisions after the race and thinking, I shouldn't have taken that rest, or I shouldn't have stopped for those 4 hours. I shouldn't have wasted so much time. I could have done it faster. I think I finished just under 80 hours, and it's not fast. But when I think about it, I was prioritizing my health as well as being successful. So the entire time I wasn't just thinking about the mile that I was in. It was the bigger picture, and it was my goal all along to do it and be healthy. I think I might be bullshitting, but I think if we look back or review back to my first interview, it was about finishing the race healthy. I know I can do it. It's just, I don't know how long it will take me. And again, my priority is to be healthy at the start of the race, during the race, and at the end of the race. I go from being happy and excited to wanting to fucking Tiger Woods my poles into the bush and just laying down and quitting.
I'm Kim, and Christy and I are friends from Cambridge. We met during yoga, actually, before she was even a teacher of that. And then when I was going through the process of becoming a living donor, she supported me through that, and then after our surgery, I supported her through her journey as well. I've shared this with a lot of people from being down here. Nobody that I know here knows Christy or my life back home. So I shared with everybody I saw this weekend about what she was doing, and every single person was like, oh my God, I could not even imagine to have the mindset to be able to run or walk that distance in the elements. Especially those from Ohio, knowing what Ohio weather could be. We could have had snow. It could have been, this hot today and then snow tomorrow. So it's such a strength of mind and heart and soul to be able to commit yourself to something like this.
She's like, I can't wait to crew you next year. I'm like,
You better watch out, buddy. We were talking about that.
Just can't stop. So yeah, we'll see you at the finish, I guess. And then, like, I just felt abandoned. Like, I know that wasn't real, but I just felt abandoned. And I was like, and now they're gone. And I'm fucking hurt so much. Like, I just want to just lay down and, like, you guys just have to come and fucking get me. Like, I don't know what, I don't even know. I didn't want to stop, but I just felt abandoned. I just needed something, but there was nothing that anyone could do anyways, so it was just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, if we were there, you would have been telling us to fuck off, whether out loud or in your head. So, like, yeah, I mean, you were in a bit of an impossible position. Where
I was, yeah. It was like, the sooner I can be done, the sooner this pain will stop.
You can do the 416-mile version and turn around and go back to Sandusky.
You're evil. You're an evil, twisted dude.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, that last part was rough, man. Why?
Which last part? What else
Like the last 207 miles.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that should say 209.
Yeah, well.
And so should that.
Yeah, but
Thank you.
Yeah, probably should.
Yeah, but you need to leave a message for yourself to remind you not to do this again next year. With how you're feeling right now.
Never sign up for a 200-mile race ever again next year.
Out of a gift such as a deceased donor tragedy can come a wonderful thing, which is saving another human being's life. And I think that's where I think educating people about this will lead to more people signing organ donor cards. And again, just because you sign an organ donor card doesn't guarantee that donation is going to happen. There's still many safeguards and checks to make sure that donation is legitimate and free, and then we can proceed with that. So there's a lot of fears about organ donation. Are they going to take my organs when I don't want to give them? That does not happen. I think there was many checks and balances to ensure that the person truly wants to give that organ, or at least made that wishes clear. Also, it's important to communicate those wishes with your family members, because just because you sign an organ donor card, like I said, it doesn't guarantee the transplant is going to happen. Because it is important for other family members or friends or whoever the power of attorney is knows that those are your wishes. So I encourage everybody to not just sign their organ donor cards, but also communicate to their loved ones or significant other that this is their wish, so that to ensure that this gift actually happens.
I didn't see my donor for the first 6 months. We got together at our 6-month anniversary. It was great, very emotional. Because we are family now. We both say it all the time. Every time we see each other, we know there's a special bond. It was amazing to meet her mom. And her mom said to me, I am so happy for all of us. She goes, I'll be honest with you. She goes, at first, I was worried and I was concerned. But as I learned more about Claire doing this, she goes, I accepted it in the sense that I supported my daughter. She goes, but meeting you and reading your story and knowing about you, and literally she goes, I see you. She goes, I gave birth to my daughter. She goes, I gave my daughter a kidney. She goes, and to see my daughter give you a kidney, another second chance at life, same way as I gave it to my daughter. And I thought, wow, I didn't even think of it that way, because it's true. She created this woman with a kidney, an extra kidney, to give to me, to someone.
The most difficult situations where I've signed my donor card, but I haven't talked to my wife, I haven't talked to my kids, I haven't talked to anyone. And so in that situation, there could be confusion. So I think it's important we talk about it. But I agree with you. It's also important to have documentation, advance directives, making it clear that if I am brain dead or if I have passed away and my organs are suitable for donation, I want them donated.
No, I've never filled out a donor's card myself. Now, would I? Oh yeah. Now that I've realized what it does, and I shouldn't say that. Good friends of ours have gone through it with her husband and now her son. So I did see it during COVID type thing. It's I didn't know her husband had an organ donation, but yeah, I learned about it during that time frame through COVID. That was kind of an eye opener there, but I know more about it now. That's for sure. I didn't even know I had 2 kidneys. So. Didn't know I didn't need one of them either. I had no idea.
I would encourage anyone who's interested, even remotely interested in the process, to contact your local center and find a little bit more about it, because there's a lot of patients who need kidneys. In fact, North America, we're looking at 100,000 plus people waiting on dialysis. If you do the math, about 5% die each year while waiting for life-saving organs. So when you think about that, and if you're out there, you're interested in becoming a living donor, I would encourage you to contact your local center.
I went for 2 runs and they felt awesome. And then I found out all my bones are bruised and I have tendonitis everywhere. I'm not one of those people who just completely loses it when I have to put a pause on running. I mean, it would be nice if I could run or cycle, but that's okay. I have 8 other personalities I can drop into at any time.
It's like a sibling to you. Because I got part of her in me that's making me survive. Yeah, it's an amazing feeling to know that you have somebody out there. It's nice that I met her. It's great that I met her. First time I pinched her cheeks and I said, oh my gosh, you're real. I couldn't believe it. Even just before we walked into the surgery room, hours before, I couldn't believe she was real. And then after surgery, I saw her again, and you feel this special connection. So when I met her family, for me, it felt like I knew them forever. Like I felt comfortable. And them with us. And that's a bond that will be there forever.
I can see me spending eternity wrapped up in your loving arms. You lift me higher than the rivers, deeper than the oceans of blue. That's how far I've fallen for you, my love. That's how far I've fallen for you. The sky is blue, the grass is green, and outside my window the songbird sings with your hand in mine. The sun shines bright, they say love is blind, but you open my eyes.